eyes are the window to the soul, then our words are the gateway to the mind. Our words represent our thoughts, and it ultimately reflects in our personality. A very good morning to one and all present out here. My name is Riya Shruti Tirkey from the Department of Psychology, 5th semester. And today I stand here to speak on something that revolves around the central idea that the words we utter reflect on who we are and what we are thinking. Our words carry weight, and we can use our words to hurt, demean, and wound others, or we can use our words to heal, encourage, and love others. Even in our religious books, we have been taught to carefully and sensibly use words. Like in the Bible, it is said in the Proverbs, "The soothing tongue is a tree of life, but a perverse tongue crushes the spirit." Just like a coin has two sides, words do too. We need to understand that our words can move people in a negative fashion or a positive one. In a jointly written book named "Words Can Change Your Brain" by Dr. Andrew Newberg and Mark Robert Waldman, it is stated that a single word has the influence to change the expression of a gene that regulate physical and emotional stress. Well, there have been multiple instances in my life where I have been demeaned by hurtful words. One such instance is when I was a preschooler. I was bullied for the way I looked. The kids in my class didn't want to sit with me. Even one of these kids said this to my benchmate, "Don't touch her, you'll become black like her." I felt pretty awful. As a kid who was never told that there was something wrong with my skin color, I was dumbfounded to know that people actually dislike dark people. You know, everyone likes and loves the color black, but not when it comes to skin color. I went back home and I vented out everything to my mom. My mom recalls and tells me that I said something like, "Mummy, I need you to buy me Fair and Lovely, because if I get fair, nobody would call me names at school." Well, I cried that day, and my mother did too. It was not just a one-day scenario or a case, but it rather continued. You know, people don't realize their insecurities unless and until we point it out for them. And people pinpointing my insecurities further embedded the fact in my mind that I was dark, people disliked me, and nobody wanted to be friends with me. As I grew older, I realized that these constant and repetitive comments on my appearance was verbal abuse. Because verbal abuse, also known as emotional abuse, is a range of words or behavior that is used to manipulate, intimidate, and maintain power and control over someone. These may include insults, humiliation, ridicule, and attempts to scare, isolate, and control them. And for the people who are verbally abused, it may lead them to develop fear and anxiety, depression, PTSD, irritability, anger issues, hypervigilance, exaggerated startle responses, alcohol and drug abuse, suicidal thoughts, self-harm, and assaultive behaviors. At this point, people have become ignorant that our words have influence. We think that we don't need to learn how to communicate, how to develop our vocabulary, to convey our words properly, to convey the words the thoughts in our mind through the words of our mouth in ways that are clear and easy to understand. Not only is it important to use words correctly, but it is also important to know how to deliver and convey those words. As the saying goes, "Our tongue has no bones, but it has the power to break our heart." So it is very, very necessary to learn how to use words correctly and also deliver them, because the person in front of us might misinterpret them. You know, pointing fingers at someone, It might be a joke for someone, but on whom the fingers are being pointed at will be traumatized for life. So what I spoke just now reflected upon the negative influence of words. But on a positive note, we can encourage people by using words and conveying them in a proper tone. Like if I go back to the incident of mine as a preschooler, I went back home and I told everything that happened at school to my mom. The words that followed from her mouth helped me calm myself down, and those were the words that didn't let me break or shatter. My mom said, "There's nothing wrong with your skin color, and everything that matters is how you are as a person." She cited the examples of successful men and women who didn't let their skin color become a hurdle for them. Mahatma Gandhi, Barack Obama, Serena and Venus Williams, Nelson Mandela have their names written on the pages of history and are a pillar of inspiration for millions. There was a point in my life where I was an introvert, an extreme introvert, always in my own little bubble, didn't want to socialize because I was paranoid of the fact that nobody would want to be friends with me. Well, I was wrong. When I started associating myself with healthy individuals like my friends in college, they encouraged me, and they are the ones who push me to work harder. Even as I'm speaking here right now and letting out the most disheartening phase of my life, it is through their words of encouragement that give me the strength to do so. I am a person with a lot of insecurities. Be it my skin color, be it my height, be it my crooked teeth, the list goes on. But I'm so thankful to the people who love me regardless. One such person is my roommate. She yelled at me once. Like I was ranting about something like, "Oh, I'm not good enough, people probably dislike me." Her words made me realize that I don't need anyone's validation to prove my worth. Well, you see, there's a contrast between words that encourage you and the words that discourage you. Words can alter and change people and promote growth in them, or words can create a course for their downfall. So I would like to end by saying that when you build others up, it not only has the ability to transform their life, but also the people around them. Whether it's through words of encouragement and support, and giving them a space where they can be themselves, we can make them feel more empowered and fulfilled. Not only is it important to say words of encouragement and being supportive, constructive criticism is as important, because there is no growth without some criticism, right? So from the next time, let's be more mindful of how we speak to others and what we speak to them, because our words have the inherent power to build someone up or break them down. Thank you.